Welcome, Taurus. How are you? All right, Taurus, we're going to do a tarot reading for you today, and I've done a pre-meditation, which will help guide the conversation. We're just setting the space with some Palo Santo, and we'll do a chime. Okay, Taurus, in the pre-meditation, it was a little bit of a struggle to connect at first with Taurus, and I had to clear through a few things. So I got there eventually, and I got a rose-colored door to a galaxy. So it was opening the door, and it was this rose-colored door, which was kind of like ornate. There was like some glass and some jewels and some beads kind of on the door that we opened. It was a bit kaleidoscopic. And then we opened up and saw this kind of like galaxy and nebular activity. It was otherworldly, and it was about connecting to someone from beyond, another timeline or another lifetime. And it was about sending a beacon into the sky, into the space, like a pulse, a signal, smoke signals, like Morse code, like a code. So it was about clarifying the signal. Who are you trying to call? Like, who is going to recognize that call from you? And honing in on that call, which is going out so that the right, entity can come through the timelines and find you. I also got the song Strawberry Fields Forever by the Beatles, and particularly it was like the end, like of the verse, as the verse rolls back into the chorus. It's kind of funny in that song how the lyrics kind of bunch up a little bit. So the second verse, I think it says, "No one is in my tree. I mean, it must be high or low. That is, you can't, tune in, but it's all right. That is, I think it's not too bad." But it's like a few of those verses, if you know that song. And I would highly encourage you to listen to Strawberry Fields Forever. It's got the coolest like drum beat. It was remastered in 2009. Listen to that version. And there's this kind of like latency. So with the beat, it kind of like shuffles. There's a lot of shuffle, kind of percussive, which kind of keeps the beat kind of high, if that makes sense. And as it's kind of like shuffling, it's almost like a little bit latent. It's a little bit behind things, which gives it a really cool feel. Like it's very, I don't know how to describe it, but there's something in it about the rhythmic nature of that song and the rhythm in which you are sending your signal, or sending your beacon, and how you're connecting through those timelines and time realms. So Taurus, let's get into your reading. We're using the She-Wolf Tarot. I'm not going to have a specific spread, but I will pull in some of the meanings of the cards from a Celtic cross, but I will just open read the first few cards, because I think that seems to like just work a little bit better for my fluidity, for how the message comes through. So for Taurus, connecting to the beacon that they're needing to send out through space, through time realms to connect. What can help them tune into this message and tune into the signal for Taurus? Tuning in for Taurus. That's too many. I realize like why I struggle with when you do a shuffle and you like I can't show you. When you bend them together, like you usually bend them in reverse and you do a bridge, but I have really short thumbs, and the way to do that is to hold it with your thumbs and do the bridge. And I've been practicing, and I'm gonna break all my cards. Three of Wands. We got the Three of Wands. Oh my God, do you see that card? Do you see that image? That was the image, like, except I saw it as a door. So it looked all black, galaxy looked all black all around, and then this rose colored door opened. And the Three of Wands does speak to something coming through the portal, and you're waiting very patiently for it. But if it can't hear you, or it doesn't know you're there, like, you can see how vast that space is beyond. You know, what has to happen in order for that thing to find you, for that entity, for that being, for that person to find you, is so, like, it has to be spot on. It has to be crystal clear. You need to hold the frequency long enough for it to find you. What would help Taurus with tuning into this frequency that's coming through? I guess we take them. We got 3. Some Mercury. So of course you need to get your comms, your digital comms, your comms, everything, your technology. What is the technology that you're using to communicate? Can you journal? Can you write? Can you write it out? Can you type it out? Is it a song? Is it a tune? Are you telling other people about it? You know, how are you communicating this to the universe? What is the technological method which is clarifying this signal? And we've got the Page of Cups and the Hierophant. So the Page of Cups is wanting to take this, wanting to get this message out, is wanting to travel this message and say, hey, like, I miss you. Like, Page of Cups is like, I miss you. Can you come back? Like, there's a heartache here. There's a longing with the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups can be, you know, very, there's a wishy-washiness while the page is saying, like, I'm, you know, a little bit unstable. And the Hierophant, so something to do with religion, but can be dogma, can be, you know, overly structured. But it can be tradition and the way things are done. It's also like listening to a word of wisdom. So listening to some advice that comes through from something that seems like hierarchical. And we have the King of Swords. The King of Swords in this deck is all about spiraling out. So the King of Swords intellectually knows that there's more to life than being overly intellectual. This is funny because I got this card from a different deck in another reading, and the card does read quite differently in this deck. But there's this acknowledgement of, so the King of Swords is very direct with what they have to say. They're not frightened of saying what they think or how they think it is. Like, they've made an analysis and an assessment which is based on reason and logic. In this deck, the King of Swords knows that they have to go further than that, you know, beyond logic and reason, there are other factors at play which will be equally as important as, you know, what the analytics and the data of a decision have to say. So what is a challenge for Taurus in this situation? What is a challenge that's Taurus needs to focus on to get this beat out? The Five of Swords. So maybe you had a conflict in the past with this person. Maybe there was a fight, or a fear of failure, or maybe there was actual failure, or, you know, it's about this card, the Five of Swords, is really fearing failure or feeling overwhelmed by the potential to fail. Maybe there's this feeling that you could be so disappointed by not coming into contact that there could be some type of, you know, block potentially, where you're blocking the situation, blocking that person from in that other timeline from coming in because you're worried that my cat's meowing at the door, so I'm just gonna let him in. Sorry, that wasn't, it's important to let him in. I have to close the door while I'm doing these videos, but I don't like to leave him outside because it's my baby. It's my baby. So we're responding to the call. You know, when you get a knock at the door, you respond. So the challenge is the fear of failure, that if you get what you want, you might not be able to hold it. The fear of failure that if you call in, we've got the Four of Pentacles coming out. So the Four of Pentacles is a mirror, there's a reflection, and it's Saturn and the Sun. What is the strength for Taurus? What can Taurus focus on that's going to help them in this situation? Strength for Taurus. Strawberry fields forever. I can't remember the tune of the verse. No one is in my tree. I mean, it must be high or low. That is, you can't, you know, tune in, but it's alright. That is, I think it's not too bad. Just hit you in the nose. Won't you take me down, 'cause I'm going to boom, strawberry field, doom, doom, nothing is real. It's nothing to get hung about. Strawberry fields forever. Strawberry fields forever. Do, 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 do. Strength. Strength for Taurus. We have the Hanged Being, the Six of Wands, and the Star card. So the Hanged Being, this is your strength. This is what's come out for your strength. So the Hanged Being, looking at things from another perspective. There's a surrender, there's a halt, there's a wait, hold on. It's a stock take. It's a what's going on, a collection. Why are you curious about the camera today? My cat is just rubbing his chin on the camera. So there's looking at things from a different perspective. And with the Six of Wands, you know, there's a balance going on from the Sun. We're able to walk from one side to another. So there's a journey, but it's of balance and evenness even-handed, star. It's the guiding star, the North Star. Let me check the Six of Wands in this book. Jupiter and Leo. Oh yes. Sometimes, like, because the cards look a bit different in this deck, I can forget. Celebration, basking, inner warmth, accomplishment. We've been movers and shakers, and it's time to feel victorious. The light of the sun may feel extra warm and comforting. Congratulate yourself and pamper yourself. I celebrate all of my victories. So I feel like this is saying that your strength, Taurus, is that you are able to call things in. You are able to, like, be guided to be in the right place at the right time. And that you should be recognizing that ability. That's the Hanged Man. We're looking at it from a different perspective. Like, there may be some things that you wish for which take a little longer, and some things that you can call in quite quickly, and it might have to do with, you know, how much history and weight there is attached to the storyline, how much, like, I'm thinking in religious terms, in terms of scriptures, or what is written, what is written in the, what we expect is what we already think is a done deal. So there's a change of perspective that you can get, that you can do if you pull back and focus on what it is that you clearly need to communicate in order to pull what you're pulling through in from the galaxy. That relationship that you're calling in, that person or that being or that timeline or that time frame. What did I write here? The timeline or lifetime that you're after to get on track. It's about speaking it into existence and recognizing that you've done it in the past, and that there are things that you have called in, that you can be clear with your wishes, and that you can be guided by your North Star, and to celebrate that, to recognize that. So if you're keeping a record, like I was saying, using the technology with Mercury to communicate to yourself and to the universe what it is that you're after, then you can recognize what to be victorious about. And realizing that it is beyond, it's still beyond intellect. And with the King of Swords, when you write things out, it's not just words on a page. It's energy and essence beyond the realm, beyond time, beyond the realm. These echoes and reflections of existence go beyond what is written on a page. Sometimes I think we can undermine certain practices. But, you know, with the Hierophant there, and when I'm thinking of scriptures and, you know, things written in books over time, which shape the way that we live and the rules that we play by, are all shaped by text. There's a reason why things were written down, because they're more than just words on a page. They shape existence. So the environment I'm getting is lost. This is actually the Leo card. This is the Strength card. So the environment that you're in, and this is about, you know, the Strength card is about recognizing primal instincts it's also about not needing to prove yourself, or like prove through egoic means that, you know, you don't need to prove that you have the bite of a lion. You don't need to prove that you can, that you're powerful. You're willing to yield and to work with people in collaboration. So that's your environment at the moment. So there's a primalness to enjoying your primal desires, not going off the rails like a devil card might be, but say like just follow your instincts in terms of, you know, have a good time, let loose if you need to, socialize if you want to, go have a dance. You know, maybe that's part of that energetic alignment as you communicate what it is that you need, if that's journaling, and you're letting that energetic vibration be the thing that carries into the other realms, to be the beacon. You know, it could be that you need to like go and dance it out or have a good time, like do the work to write it out and communicate it, let that emit through the field, through the beyond the bounds of time. But you could also don't have to focus on it 100% of the time. You can go and, you know, have fun. Hopes and fears are the Six of Pentacles. Like what you put in, you may not get out. It's about sharing what we have, finding stability, like coming into a place where we can share and receive. And the final outcome is the Knight of Wands. And that it was 22 minutes and 22 seconds when I looked up at the screen. So the final outcome being the Knight of Wands. And we do have the Devil card bottom of the deck. So the Devil is about the illusion of separation. Oops. So the illusion of separation being that, you know, anything that you do in life is not somehow echoing and communicating with the field as to what it is that you want, what it is that you're calling in. So the Knight of Wands, he has a real bright spark and a real spirit. He's about to like go out and claim something. He's about to take the bull by the horns. There's a lot of energy to burn. And so, you know, getting out into that environment and enjoying yourself, like being the prideful lion, or tapping into that Taurus, tapping into that Leo energy. So there could be this also could be someone in your environment, which is a Leo. This could be the person that you're calling in. This could be the thing that you're calling in from in your environment. So it could be also acknowledging that it's not as far away as you think. That, you know, we have this vision of the galaxy far, far away, and this requirement to be quite clear with what you articulate and how to call it into you so that it knows how to find you, to find the right rhythm, to find the right beat. But it's, you know, nothing is that far away from us. It seems to be far, but, you know, if it slips through a parallel universe, it can be this close to us. It can be right next to us the whole time. So if we imagine it coming closer to us, and if we vision that thing finding us and coming closer to us, it may very well show up faster than we expect. Let's do an animal spirit to support this message for Taurus. Taurus, it's been hard to get cards for you and hard to get messages today. I really want to to persevere with Taurus. So the message had to come through, but there's definitely like overall the energy is it is slow to arrive. It's slow to arrive. Shark. Shark is about honesty and being upfront, being clear, and facing head on what it is that you're seeking. Poor Shark is quite misunderstood. Actually holds a lot of power and a lot of wisdom. Shark, directness, exposure, revealing true nature and desire. The shark is only dangerous when we don't acknowledge it. The shark indicates that something big needs to be exposed. It's lurking in the depths and creating tension. Shark energy takes over us when we're hesitant to be honest, to be totally ourselves, or to say what we really want. It may be tempting to continue pretending nothing is wrong, but when shark energy is at play, we feel its presence encircling us. Intriguing, when in balance, intriguing, captivating, mysterious, out of balance, sneaky, destructive, to bring into balance, honesty. So, we're being honest, Taurus. We're being honest with the universe. You're going to journal what you really want, because we need a record and to see, to recognize that, you know, you do manifest what it is that you want when it's clear and discernible. But that if it's, you know, about this primal situation, if you want it to be raw, be honest. And it could be that Knight of Wands vitality coming through the door. If that's what you want. You want this outcome. Maybe this Knight of Wands is about to, you know, arrive. Bringing the vitality, bringing the drive, bringing the dance, bringing the passion, bringing the fire, bringing, yeah, some good times, some fun times. It's okay to want fun. It's okay to want to have those primal experiences. I mean, for fuck's sake, am I allowed to say that on YouTube? Like, if you're down here in this, you come to all this trouble to come down to earth. You've gone to all this trouble to be here. Enjoy it. Thank you very much, Taurus. I appreciate you stopping by. My name is Natalie. This is Natural Flow Alchemy / Sunbaker Studios. I do tarot readings. I do human design analysis. And largely, I do holistic interior design and creating sacred spaces. So interior design. There's so much here. This is the cauldron. This is music and sound and vibration, and its philosophy, and all about consciousness expansion. So there's a bit of this and a bit of that, but tarot has been something calling to me lately as a way to support bringing through insights and messages for people. So that's been something that I'm focusing on, but I have a lot of plans and a lot of things coming through and to come. So check out my website, which is sunbakerstudio.com.au. I'd love if you want to join my mailing list. I don't send too many emails at this point, but I will be trying to send a few more. It's an Alchemical Creators newsletter for creative people. And I think that's it. So if you enjoyed this video and got a lot out of it, or anything out of it, or would just like to support me, you're invited to like the video, share the video, subscribe to my channel, and see you again soon, Taurus.